Hey guys, welcome to Just About Movies podcast. My name's Elliot. I'm joined by Jack, Dan and Alex. And today we're going to talk through 5 of our recommendations of some films and series just to get you through lockdown, to help get us through lockdown. And since we're, midway through lockdown 2.0, however loose that may be, we have some suggestions for you guys here. So let's kick it off. First on our list, I think we have the film 1917.
To see my father.
We need to keep moving! Come on!
What do you guys think of that?
Good film.
Directed by Sam Mendes, who did films such as Skyfall, Spectre, Jarhead, American Beauty.
Yeah, some big films.
Yeah, basically it involves 2 soldiers who are assigned a race against time to deliver a message that will stop 1,600 men from basically falling into a deadly trap.
True story, isn't it?
It comes from Sam Mendes' grandfather's autobiography.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's basically based on events that occurred in World War One.
Yeah, that's amazing. I didn't actually realise that. I suppose the biggest thing with this film is the fact that it's all done in supposedly one take. It's one long shot.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Cinematographer Roger Deakins, who's actually from where myself and Alex are from.
Really?
Yeah, Oscar-winning cinematographer. What an amazing thing though to do to make it look like one take. So you're all through the time with him. It's incredible. It is an amazing film to watch.
Yeah, well, I researched into it, and because I thought, how have they filmed that in one take like that? Obviously, halfway through, you get a fade to black where he's unconscious. Yeah. But I read that the actual longest shot they filmed was roughly about 8 minutes.
Really?
Yeah, they did invisible edits.
Yeah.
Which is really clever, because if you watch it, you can't tell.
No. There's some obvious moments where when you do filming, you sort of get where the edit would be. When something walks across the camera like that, kind of that's an edit. You can work it out, but there's so many clever ones where you just there's no way, and the general audience will watch it going, that's one take, and it's incredible.
I went to the cinema and watched it myself just before that though. I watched it recently as well because it's that good. Top 5 films for me.
Really?
Yeah, not ahead of 365,
Okay.
but
there just wasn't enough sex in 1917. There just wasn't enough sex. That's the problem.
Any film title with numbers in it works for us.
The film just speaks for itself. You've only got to look at it. 3 Oscars, 2 Golden Globes, 7 BAFTAs, and then Sam Mendes, like I said before, Skyfall, Spectre, Jarhead, American Beauty.
Yeah. Can you see Dan's erection about Bond films from here?
Yeah.
He's so excited.
It's
Bond films
the most successful one to date.
As soon as you said Sam Mendes, I could smell it on him. It just.
I love this.
Dan, what Oscars did 1917 win?
Oh, now you're asking. Best achievement in cinematography.
Yeah, definitely.
Best achievement in visual effects. Best achievement in sound mixing.
Wow. Honestly, just watching it, the cinematography is stunning. It's amazing. And to think that they pulled that off. I remember I watched the behind the scenes, and because obviously they were cutting a lot, they had to wait for the sky to look exactly the same so that they could they could do the next shot. So they were saying on days where I think it was filmed in France, on days where it was sunny, they would film a shot, but if clouds came over, they had to stop. Everyone had to wait for the clouds to go again, and then they shot again because it had to look seamless, like it was one take. And it's just amazing when you think that much going into a film, it deserved the Oscar for Best Cinematography. It's a stunning film, and it's why it's on our list. I mean, it was easily one of the best films that's come out recently.
They also they rehearsed it 6 months before actually shooting the film.
Wow. I suppose that's the actors, isn't it? Having to just know where to stand and all that, because you need your actors to block correctly, which is to stand in the right places, and it must be such a hard thing to work out. Amazing.
The cameos as well.
Yeah. Some big names.
From TV and film, you've got Daniel Mays, Colin Firth, Andrew Scott, Mark Strong, Benedict Cumberbatch, Richard Mader.
It's weird, isn't it? But they're in it for like 2-3 minutes each.
Yeah.
It's amazing. The main two in it are fantastic. It is a great film. Definitely one to watch.
Concept as well.
Mm.
You can tell I'm being quiet today because I'm shamefully one of those people who hasn't watched it. So.
It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting.
It just missed out on Best Picture, didn't it, in the Oscars? Do you know who it lost to?
Last year.
Moonlight.
Yeah, so it wasn't. It was favourite to win Best Overall Film of the Year, but it lost out.
It lost to Parasite.
It lost to Parasite. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen Parasite, Jack or Dan. I know Elliot has.
No.
Yeah, Parasite's awesome. Great film.
Parasite is fantastic. 1917 is a phenomenal film, but you have to give that Parasite was just any other year 1917 would win it, but Parasite is something else. It's an amazing film, but let's not get into Parasite. Let's get into number 2 on our list. Parasite. No. Let's get number 2 on our list, which is our resident horror fan, a lover, and expert. It's Alex that talk us through number 2, which is Halloween.
I just waited for this night.
Cool. Halloween 2018. Have you guys seen it yet?
No, but
no.
You're pestering me to regularly.
None of you have seen it yet. Jeez. Okay. No. Okay, so there's 12 Halloween films in total. This is number 12, I think it was. Could be 13. And this is a direct sequel to the first original film, which came out in 1978, so 40 years later. The film takes place 40 years later as well, and it's about Jamie Lee Curtis from the original film. She's become wouldn't say psychotic, but she's oversensitive about Michael Myers escaping again and getting loose and killing letting loose in the whole town again. And she's like made her own house like a big booby trap.
Right.
Ready for when he escapes.
Like Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a horror version of Home Alone.
Home Alone 5, the cut which never got made.
Yeah.
She's also kind of ignored a family. She's become kind of like an agoraphobic. No one really gets on with her except her granddaughter, and her granddaughter is the kind of like second to main character apart from like Jamie Lee Curtis.
Actually, Jamie Lee Curtis as well.
Yeah. So she reprised her role as the
she?
female hero, the heroine.
That's
cool.
She's great though, isn't she? Was Halloween was her first ever film, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you can imagine she was like desperate to get back to like playing that 40 years on. I can imagine that was a big thing for her.
Yeah, well, her career went quiet for a while.
Any of the other Halloween, just the original.
Yeah, so she was in. I think she was in H2O, which come out in like the early 2000s. I think it was.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with this film, you have to ignore all the other films. It is a direct sequel to the first film, so you have to forget about all the other ones. They didn't mean anything. It's straight to this one.
Was that hard to do, Alex? Because I imagine you've seen all 12 of the Halloween films. Was it hard to forget everything?
No, it wasn't, because to be honest, the other films, apart from probably the second one, which they're easily forgettable. They're not amazing.
Really?
Halloween films. Bar a few. Obviously, you had like the remakes in like 2009 and 2007, I think it was.
I've seen those. Yeah, I think you dragged
Rob Zombie directed them. Yeah. So the guy who directed this film, David Gordon Green. I don't know if you've heard of him.
No.
Yeah, exactly. I never heard of him either. He's actually a big Halloween fan, and he pitched this idea, got the job. He's done films Snow Angels. It's in that one. No, Snow Angels, Pineapple Express.
Oh, Pineapple Express. He did Pineapple Express.
He did Pineapple Express, yeah. So that's totally different kind of genre
Yeah,
than
yeah.
what he's done.
Stoner comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a film called Stronger with Jake Gyllenhaal in it.
Okay, I've heard of that one.
So-
I've not seen that though.
Haven't actually seen any of those films personally, but this is obviously he's a big fan. He's set to direct the sequel, which is coming out next. Well, the sequel to this film is coming out next year, called Halloween Kills, and then a year after that, Halloween Ends is coming out.
All right. So what was it about Halloween? Why is this on our top 5 lists of must watches? Why should people watch it?
Okay, so the thing is, you don't have to. I don't think you have to have seen the original film to watch this film.
Oh, really?
It's a standalone.
It's so simple. The story is just the generic kind of horror story. The killer stalks the babysitter kind of thing. The person who knows about him is coming to try and rescue everyone and kill him to save the day. But it's so like well made. The soundtrack is amazing. The cinematography again is amazing in this film. For a horror film, that it looks great. Again, like Roger Deakins did in 1917, they use a lot of one-shot takes, so there's not a lot of editing and cutting away from the screen. You're always kind of immersed into the film, which is what you want to do in a horror film. So
a lot of films
it's more scary.
Can we also talk about the baby sequence? I'd love to talk about the baby sequence.
I think Alex.
Oh no!
The baby sequence.
Oh no! Don't remind me of the baby sequence. What was the direct? This is the only flaw in this film. So let me take you through it. So during the one-shot scene, at the end of the one-shot scene, Michael Myers sees a crib, and there's a baby in the crib.
Should say spoiler alert, shouldn't we? At this point.
Sorry, big spoiler, guys. Sorry. So Michael Myers pauses, looks into the crib, and then walks away. So. What do you think about that? What is he doing? Like,
why does that bother you so much, Alex? Is it
okay? Because Michael Myers is meant to be.
He shouldn't have a heart, is what you're saying.
He shouldn't have a heart.
So he's also known as the Shape. So that also kind of contrasts to he has no soul. He's just a mindless kind of killer. So for him to, this big kind of bad person to look into a crib, just glance at it and walk away after he's killed like a dozen other people. I don't know what the director was trying to say with that scene.
Does it sort of imply that he enjoys the chase? He likes the thrill of having to chase somebody as opposed to having an innocent just laying there.
Yeah, some people thought that he was trying to... I don't know, this is the thing. Are you trying to make him look good because he hasn't killed a baby?
Humanity into it?
But did he have a really bad childhood? So he sympathises with children.
Maybe that is the argument. So I actually did some research. I wanted to know what the director, even if he did come out and say anything about this scene, and someone asked why he didn't kill the baby, and the director said that will be rude. That was all he said.
It's not really an answer, is it? I think two things.
And then
it'd be too graphic. There's no chance they'd let that happen, even implying it. And secondly, there'll be a meaning there. There'll be some sort of hidden thing that the director was thinking.
So he went on to say that he thought it would be interesting to see one ethical choice that Michael Myers does. So that's the only ethical choice in the whole movie, or the whole of the 12 movies that he does.
Yeah,
which isn't like a murder. But then there was another reason. It's because an actor didn't turn up who was meant to be sleeping on the couch, so they had to put a crib in there instead. I didn't like it. They could have just got rid of that scene or killed the baby. So that was a massive talking pit. Sorry.
But overall,
as an audience,
this is the film to watch.
It's just so hard to take the conversation.
That was the biggest talking point in the film, I thought. But overall, it was a great film.
Yeah, it's a
solid
go-to
4
film.
out of 5.
You should watch it, 100%. Let's move on before we get too deep.
Sorry about
Alex.
my baby killing passion right
and
there.
it's sick twisted films right now. Right, let's move on to our third pick, which came out this year, is The Boys season 2. Amazing. Dan, Jack, tell us about it, mate.
Right, it's based on the comic books by Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson. It's got a big cast of guys, I'm pretty sure, and females who you're all aware of. He's got Carl Urban, I'm a big fan. It's TV, so it's not the same as talking about a film. Directors change depending on who's taking hold of the episode, but it's a brilliant arc at the moment. I think it's much darker than, if you guys like, if anyone watching likes the MCU or the Marvel comic book universe, as it's called, I would go out and watch this because it's so much darker and crueler. It feels more DC in that respect. It's got Jack Quaid, son of Dennis Quaid, in it, who does a great job. He's sort of the protagonist in, well, that's the thing with television, there's so many different protagonists in each episode, but it's got a great feminine spine to it, like the whole female superheroes sort of dominate, if not the power struggle, which you often see in TV. You know, it used to be that sort of Superman was the ultimate hero, right? He was the great of what it could be. And in this one, it's not the same. It's slightly different. It's Anthony Starr, who is Superman, but a
little bit darker.
Yeah, it's really dark. Yeah, it's
the
really
thing
dark.
What's great about The Boys is essentially what if superheroes were in the real world and normal people, because we always see superheroes as these like shining lights of like, oh, they just wouldn't do anything wrong, but like The Boys dives into, he saves the world, but he kind of kills a lot of people in the process, and he's a bit of a rapist, like, so it's sort of like toys with, like, imagine if anybody could get a superpower, they're not all going to be the nicest people ever. No. I think that's what The Boys does so well, and because it's not afraid to shy away from it, like anything graphic, it is shocking. It
touches on great subjects like social media and that influence, because you wouldn't have had that in the previous comic books by Stan Lee and stuff like that, because Stan Lee obviously deals with, he wrote comic books back in the period where you wouldn't have had social media, obviously, but like there's great LGBT community who follow it because there's characters in it who are sort of shine in that respect as well. But yeah, I've got amazing. It's got Gustavo Fring from Breaking Bad. If you guys seen Breaking Bad, it's got the actor from there who's in Mandalorian as well at the moment. He's Hot Property. It's just.
How is it compared to the first season then, Jack? Because I've seen the first season.
I think it's as good. It's as good, if not better.
It takes it to another level. It just first season. I actually watched the first 5 episodes of the first season and then stopped watching it. Just sort of disappeared from it for a bit, and then I was like, "Oh, everyone's talking about it a little bit. I'll try and watch it again." And then I think in 2 days I watched the end of the first season and all of season 2 because it's just gripping. You honestly like. It's so stupid, but like awesome at the same time. You know, stuff happens in it, and you go, "What? Like, surely not." But then it's amazing. It's so good. It's so funny. It's so well acted. It's dark. It's like all the actors in it are amazing. They really are so good, and it's brilliant. It's such a good watch. Like, I was hooked, literally hooked by it. So
I think one of the best sort of, as Elliot mentioned, sort of actors to come on board was or actress was Aya Cash, who is sort of becomes the big bad. And shows the power of sort of the power of social media as an influence and being able to sort of project yourself as something you're not. It's brilliant all the way up to the end, and big twists, big ending. So you watch it and you'll be like, oh shit, at the end. You know?
I think if you like gore and you like a bit of like sort of over the top action, it's kind of ideal. Alex would like the gore bit of it.
Am I right?
What, but not the sex bit?
Am I right in saying Seth Rogen got involvement in there?
Who's that? What was that?
I said, am I right in saying something to do with Seth Rogen's a part of it?
I think he has I think he's in it for one episode for like half, literally like a scene. I think he's in a quick scene. I can't remember. But
I don't know. I don't remember that. Maybe he's an exec producer. I guess.
Yeah, maybe. It's phenomenal. It's a really good watch. It's one of the best seasons to come out this year of anything, and in fact it's one of my favourite series that I've watched in. I can't even think of how long. I'll happily go back through rewatching it. It's
best thing is early days. It's only season 2, so we got a long way ahead of us too.
Onwards and upwards, definitely, and it's got so much hype as well. Like, it's going to go far. It's definitely got another 3 or 4 seasons in it. So
let's just hope it doesn't go the way of Walking Dead.
Yeah, definitely. Let's move on to our 4th pick, which is The Haunting of Bly Manor, Netflix. By the tree that weeps with me. It's a fantastic series by Mike Flanagan. It's a second season, but doesn't really follow on from its first season, which was Haunting a Hill House. There's so much to say about this. It's an incredible TV series. It's suspenseful, it's scary, the drama in it's fantastic. It's got really good characters, a really good setting. It's a fantastic story. It's basically set in an old manor, and a woman from America comes over to look after the 2 children who are orphans to parents who died, who owned the house. She's their au pair, and sort of strange things going on. There's a few people that sort of live in the house as a cook and a housekeeper and all that, and you're basically episode by episode discovering the sort of history of the place and kind of discovering why the creepy kids are creepy in a way. But it's just, if you've seen Haunted of Hill House, just watch it, because it's the same brilliant cinematography, brilliant acting, and brilliant scares, really. So it's just fantastic. I know Alex is a big fan of it as well. It's based on the book The Turn of the Screw, Alex is a fan of. How true to the book is it, Alex?
Okay, so I had to study The Turn of the Screw at university with you guys. I think we were given a task one day and we had to write an essay about a book that we'd read or something like that, but I had to read it at uni. But it's not, I'd say it's only, 60% true to the book.
Oh, really?
They introduced a new character in Bly Manor, which isn't in the book, but it works. It's nice. It's a good different take of what the book is, because what's special about the book is that you don't know what's going on. Are the kids seeing ghosts, or is the woman making it up? Is she going crazy?
Yeah, I think you definitely get that in this as well, because what I think Mike Flanagan works really well in doing, he does it in Hill House, he does it in Dr. Sleep, which is a film he directed as well.
Oh, cool.
He's very good at working with people that have personal demons. They've all got problems. So you're always sort of on edge as to whether someone is seeing something or is dealing with something personal. So I find this is a really good series to sort of, it keeps you on your toes. You always find yourself sort of I was terrible watching it, because I watched it with my partner, and every sort of scene I was going, oh, she's dead, that's not real, he didn't do that. I was just constantly throwing out different things. I think I was wrong about everything. It's just one of those series that you find yourself just sort of guessing everything, because it's just it's so bizarre, but it's the acting and the story carries you over, and you just get hooked by it. I think I watched it all in a day or 2 days, because it was it's gripping. But what it does so well is modern day horror, I think nowadays, is jump scares. It's something really quiet for a second and then jumping out of you, and then you jump. But what Mike Flanagan does really well is there's ghosts hidden all the way through it, and they're just there. They never move, or rarely move. They never talk, make a sound, anything like that. They're just hidden, and it's more scary, because you find yourself just sort of watching the screen and going, there's a bloke standing in the background, and then it'll cut away, cut back, and they're not there anymore. But it's so subtle, and some of them are so well hidden. And that for me was another sort of selling point of the series, because I found myself just like looking around at the screen all the time, going, "Oh, there's going to be something hidden there." It's like if you look at Jack's webcam now, there'd be someone just stood right in the background down the hallway.
Oh man, chill out.
There is actually someone standing there.
On Dan's one as well. There'll be a face on the staircase. Like.
So is that? Do you think that's down to the sort of the formula of making the episode so that you're drawn into the attention of detail? Do you think that's like, is it sort of Stephen King-ish with the level of horror where it suspends it to that point of pinnacle, or is it like because you're looking for it, you look harder at the episode and you find more things to be scared of?
Yeah, I think so. The funny thing is most of the time the person in the background or the hidden ghost has almost nothing to do with what's going on. So you're not sort of like lingering on it, and then something happens. You linger on it, and then they're just not there anymore. And then it just carries on. The story carries on, but you never lose track of the story. It's not so distracting or jarring that it takes you out of the story. It's just done so well, and I think it's such a great modern horror. It really does. It's scary. It is really scary. It does have jump scares. It does have, the standard stuff and that. But there's something special about it. I think as a series that I think if you're a fan of horror, you should 100% be watching. If you're a fan of good drama, it's something you should be watching because it's just fantastic. I know Dan and Jack, I know you said you guys really want to watch it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I know the actress is from You as well in season 2.
She is. So she's a bit hot property at the moment as well. Let's go on to our final pick. Our final pick is a classic. It's something that we feel you should definitely be watching in lockdown if you haven't seen it before. And you should be watching it anyway if you haven't seen it before, because it's an incredible film, and that film is Psycho. So let's talk about Psycho.
Here we have a quiet little motel.
Remind me, what year did it come out? Was it 1950, 58 or 60?
60, I think.
It was.
I don't know.
So it is actually black and white. It's a black and white film. 1960,
yeah.
So it's a black and white film. So if you haven't seen it, don't be put off because it's a black and white film. It's meant to be one of the greatest horrors of all time, directed by the horror master Alfred Hitchcock.
Yeah. It was a choice as well to be in black and white. It actually wasn't. This is
because color was out at the time.
Yeah.
Color was a thing, but he chose to shoot it in black and white. I can't remember why he chose actually. Was it to get more kind of emotion out of the characters because of the kind of dramatic scenes that happened in it?
With the blood sequence as well.
He didn't want to show the blood on camera.
Because was it something with the rating as well? You get a higher rating if you showed blood in colour.
That potentially could be it. I think, is it not, I can't remember, I might be making this up, was it not like he didn't want colour to throw any representation out that he didn't want in it? He wanted it to sort of be black and white and just focused on the actors and all that. He didn't want any sort of like hidden messages in the colour of clothing and the color of like anything that's going on, or it's all black and white as it is. But I could be just making that up. No idea. It's a great film.
That's a good thing to look into actually, because I can't remember.
Don't watch the remake though.
But the remake is shot for shot. It's literally shot for shot. Yeah. Exactly the same.
Vince Vaughn doesn't quite carry it off.
No.
Okay, but he's not great.
It's surprising. I think it's Lars von Trier directed it, and he did it exactly the same, shot for shot. And if you haven't seen Psycho, you'll know of Psycho because the famous shower scene is what it's copied and referenced all over like Hollywood and TV and everything, because it's just such an iconic scene. And when you watch it, you sort of know why. It's iconic, that music and everything. It's just an absolute classic, isn't it? The story is it's a young girl steals some money from her company, runs away, and then ends up at the Bates Motel, where horror ensues.
Absolute classic. Can't avoid. Guys, go and watch it. You won't be disappointed. Simple as that.
No.
I think 40, 50 years on.
Yeah, more than that. What's that? 60 years on.
Yeah. So, that's the final episode. There are our top 5 things to be watching in Lockdown 2.0. So we've got 1917, Halloween, The Boys Season 2, Bly Manor, and Psycho. Plenty there to get you through. Stay tuned. Plenty more videos coming your way. Plenty more podcasts. We've got a top 10 Stephen King adaptations. We're going to dive a little bit into the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp situation. So stay tuned and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks.
Nice one, guys.
Hey, guys.